Hello, and thank you for agreeing to serve as a mentor for Bedford County Public Schools. We know that you are going to give countless hours as you invest in the personal and professional development of your new hire. So I want to thank you for all of the work that you're going to do and all of the time that you're going to be giving to your new hire as you work with them. We typically meet face-to-face during Teacher Work Week to have our introduction to instructional mentoring, but I thought this year I would try to create a couple of videos within Google Classroom, hopefully so that way it would minimize how much time you were outside of your classroom during Teacher Work Week so that you would have more time to get ready for parent-teacher conferences and the first day of school. I know it's an overwhelming week, and so hopefully this is a little bit more efficient rather than meeting face-to-face. You can see our daily objective for our August meeting that we're going to do through Google Classroom. Our goal is for you to understand your role and your responsibilities as a Bedford County mentor as you individually look at the mentoring handbook and the expectations of the mentoring relationship. Obviously, as I already stated, the bigger picture, that ultimate goal is to kind of quicken the pace of the novice teacher's development. And I'll know I have it when the measurable components today, the assignments that you'll complete within Google Classroom once you view the videos, is that you'll be asked to brainstorm a list of at least 15 concerns, needs of a first-year teacher. You'll be asked to complete a chart showing specific activities a mentor performs. You'll be completing an evidence versus opinion chart, and you will be examining the mentoring handbook and completing a Google form. All of those assignments will need to be completed in Google Classroom as part of fulfilling your expectations of serving as a mentor for Bedford County. Serving as a mentor means that you will earn 90 recertification points for serving throughout the year, and you will also receive a $500 stipend. 250 of that will be paid at the end of first semester, and the other $250 will be paid at the end of second semester. And again, the completion of assignments and attendance at the meetings will help fulfill the requirements of serving as a mentor. Within the Google Classroom, there is a copy of the mentoring handbook so that you can print that off. You may want to go ahead and do that now. There's also a copy of the meeting dates. We have 3 more meetings after this one. There are dates and locations listed depending on the feedback and how this August meeting goes virtually. We may also do some of those as videos as well, because I know lots of you serve as coaches and other capacities, so sometimes it's hard for you to come to after school meetings. So I do have dates listed in locations, so please secure those dates on your calendar. But again, those may end up being done virtually rather than face-to-face meetings. We will just kind of see how it develops. So again, I'm Sherry Weiss, and I'm the supervisor of social studies and mentor programs. I know most of you, but there are a couple of you who may or may not know me, and I may not know as well. So I just wanted to give a quick introduction so that you'll know who you're working with. Please, if you have any questions as you work with your new hire, if you have any concerns, please do not hesitate to shoot me an email. I'm happy to come and meet with you during your planning or before or after school. I'm happy to do whatever I can to support you as you support your new hire. So I am fairly local. I grew up in Campbell County. I graduated from Rustburg High School. I then went on to Virginia Tech, where I majored in history, go Hokies. I also minored in political science and sociology. I stayed at Virginia Tech and got my master's in curriculum and instruction, and I probably would have never left Virginia Tech if my parents hadn't cut me off and said after my master's degree they were done paying for my education. So then I came to Bedford County and got a job at Liberty High School, where I taught for 9 years. I taught modern world history, AP European history, and practical law. While I was at Liberty High School, I also served as the head girls track and field coach for indoor and outdoor track, so 18 seasons of that while I was at Liberty High School. I loved my time at Liberty High School. While I was there, I got married to Ben Weiss, who is still a teacher at Liberty High School. He teaches driver's ed and PE and coaches at Liberty High School. While I was at Liberty, I decided that I would pursue my National Board Certification. That is a certification that less than 3% of the teachers in the country have. And so it just distinguishes you and shows that you are committed to excellence in the classroom. While I was at Liberty High School, I also had our daughter Elliot, she is currently 5. I also began working on my EDS in supervision and administration and earned that degree. I then sadly left the classroom because I loved the classroom and became the lead teacher for social studies for the division. I then became the supervisor of social studies and mentor programs for the division. And while at the division level, my husband and I have had Clay, who is a year and a half old. Yes, I know he has no hair, but he is a year and a half old. And so that is a little bit about me personally and professionally. And I hope that over the year, if you don't already know me, that you'll get to know me, and I hope that I will get to know you on a personal and professional level as well. So why mentoring? If mentoring means that you visit with your new teacher occasionally, you check in with them, you ask them how it's going, you have a couple of informal conversations in the hallway, it's really not likely that you're going to impact instruction, let alone student learning. And so in Bedford County, we really want mentors to act as co-planners and co-thinkers. We want you to help new teachers reframe the challenges that they're facing. We want you to help them design and modify instruction and assessments. That doesn't mean you just hand them your lesson plans or hand them your assessments, but you really work with them to help look at, well, why is this a good assessment? What elements of this make it a strong lesson? And help them analyze student learning, student data, and help them make changes in their practice. So that's really our goal. And so you can see our ultimate goal is so that we can retain quality teachers. We want them to feel that they have a seamless transition into their first year of teaching in Bedford County. We don't want them to feel isolated. You'll see there's a video within Google Classroom that you're asked to watch that's a PowerPoint where I've just put some of the statements that new teachers have put, that they said, if I could tell my mentor anything, this is what I'd want to tell them. And one of them talks about the isolation that they sometimes feel when they're new and in a new building. And so you can see some of those elements. And so our goal is to help them to become successful professionally. I think some of these statistics are a bit overwhelming when you look at them. 17% of teachers leave after 1 year. 30% after 2 years, 40% after 3 years, and of course half of them are gone after 5 years. I think that's a little bit discouraging, and so that's our job as mentors, is to hopefully, if we make that transition easier for them, they'll want to stay, they'll feel successful. And then look at those statistics of how young our current teaching cohort is. When you look at the public school teachers across the country, 12% are in their first or second year. 26% have 5 or fewer years of experience in the classroom, whereas only 17% of the teachers in the country have 25 plus years of experience. So we are, teachers as a whole, we are young. We are losing some of our most experienced teachers as they leave the profession to take on other work. When we look at our teachers across the country, 22% of all teachers are under the age of 30. And then our teaching profession is dominated by white females. 84% of all teachers across the country are white females. And so, again, we want to make sure that we are supporting all teachers and we're promoting equity and diversity within our division. Another reason why mentoring is so vital to the success of our new hires in Bedford County is when we look at the country as a whole, 39% of new teachers are entering from an alternative education program. They probably didn't go through a traditional university program. They probably did not have the same training that you had. And so we want to make sure that we provide those fundamental elements. They may not be well versed in lesson planning. They may not be well versed in how do you design a sound assessment that's aligned to the standards. And so that's why we need to be very hands-on in helping these teachers become familiar with those expectations. So what I would like for you to do, and you can hit pause on this video and do it now, or at the end you can go back and do it, but I want you to do, there's an assignment within Google Classroom that asks you to brainstorm a list of at least 15 concerns of a first-year teacher. And so you will submit that brainstorm list. You can do it as a list format or as a circle map. That's where you're brainstorming and defining those needs through Google Classroom. So again, I would encourage you to hit pause now and complete that as we just think about there's a 100 at least things that they are worried about and concerned about during those first few weeks of school. But I want you to just come up with at least 15 so that will help narrow your focus as you begin to work with them and prioritize. Yeah, this is, this laundry list of things you're worried about, but these are the These are the things we need to worry about right now. These are the ones we need to address at this moment. Okay? So once you have come up with that brainstormed list, that's going to help shape your first meeting with your new teacher. You want to help them balance those immediate concerns with long-term development. They can't tackle everything right now. They can't tackle everything today. So how do you take that list and help prune it and help reorder it so that it is prioritized? We want to articulate our knowledge of best practice. You are a master teacher. That's why you're here. That's why you were asked to be a mentor. And so we want to make our new teacher realize that I'm here to listen. I'm going to actively listen. I'm going to listen not just so that I can reply to what you're saying, but so that I can actually process what you're saying. I want to provide practical assistance. I am not an evaluator. If I'm your mentor, I am here to help you develop. I'm not an administrator. I'm not a supervisor. And I'm excited because guess what? When I mentor you, we both grow. And so we want to make sure that they realize that we honor their experiences as well. These new teachers come with a variety of experiences and strategies that they are aware of. And so we want to acknowledge that we can learn from them as well. When we ask new teachers to identify some of their top concerns, these are the ones that they list. And again, they may be some of the ones that you listed when your brainstorm list a few minutes ago. But if we know that these are their top concerns, you want to have a conversation with them about these things. If they're worried about working with parents, what can you do as a mentor to help them? So maybe practicing some, scenarios. Maybe you're in the room with them during a parent meeting that they know could be hostile or could be tense. Maybe you sit and help them grade some papers because they're worried about, well, how am I going to evaluate student work? Not a worksheet, but maybe an essay or something that's not quite cut and dry. Maybe you help them design rubrics so that they can have grading practices that are reliable. So again, I just want you to look at that list and think about if these are the things that my newbie is most worried about, how can I be intentional about addressing these concerns? Classroom discipline. If they don't establish rules and procedures from the get-go, they're going to be fighting a battle for the rest of the year. So during teacher work week, if you do nothing else, you want to make sure that they have discussed with you what is their discipline plan, what is going to be their rules and procedures. And they may think, I've got to hit the ground running with content because I've got a pacing guide. No. First of all, they have got to establish procedures and expectations in their classroom. Because if not, kids aren't ever going to get the content. And so again, you've got to help them realize that. So when we look at the phases of first year teaching, and some of this is true whether I'm a brand new teacher, brand new baby bird right out of college, or I am, 20 years in. Some of this is true of all of us every single year. We're in that anticipation phase. And so new teachers during this phase really try to tend to romanticize the role of teacher. They think they're going to save the world. They're going to have this magical connection with each student. So they're a little bit idealistic of how they're going to accomplish their goals. And maybe they have a false sense of success based on their student teaching experience where they had another adult in the classroom. And so now all of a sudden when that adult is gone, they're going to feel kind of at a loss and feel that they don't know what direction to move in. And so we'll, in our later meetings as we move throughout the school year, we will be looking at these other components of survival and disillusionment. But right now we want to focus on anticipation because that's where we are. August and leading into September, they are very idealistic about what they're going to accomplish. And so we want to make sure that we support them because very soon what the research shows is they're going to start that downward spiral. And so we want to give as much support as we can so that as they enter in that survival phase, they have the tools and they feel equipped to be successful. Okay? So the next thing that you're going to do is look at this list of 10 roles that we say that mentors need to fulfill. That sometimes you're going to be a teacher to your new teacher. Sometimes you're going to learn from them. Sometimes you're going to be coaching them along. Sometimes you need to advocate for them. Maybe they need a resource, so you're going to be an advocate to a principal. And so what I want you to do is within Google Classroom, there's a chart with these 10 roles listed, and you're going to come up with at least 2 ways that you're going to serve as a learner, 2 ways you're going to serve as a coach. So you'll brainstorm at least 20 total activities, and you will complete that in Google Classroom at this time, and then we'll start our next video.